So I would like to know that max value, or which was the minimum sale value. So I would like to know that. So for that, what I'll do is I'll have to create a calculated field which calculates the minimum value or maximum value for me for all these sales. So for that, what I'll do is, first of all, I'll go to a new sheet, and over here I have this subcategory over here. So I've basically placed subcategory from dimension to over here. Then I would be placing the sales over here as is. Okay, I've placed the sales. Okay, now I would like to have it in the table, so I'm doing that as well. Okay, this is the aggregate value. If I remove this, I get the each day sales for each subcategory. Now instead of subcategory, if I would like to see only for the category ones, I'll do that. So for each category, daily values we are getting. When I do entire fit, I get the sales for each day across the 4 years. Now I would like to find the minimum sales for furniture, office supplies, and technology in the last 4 years. So what I'll do, I'll go to any of the measure, click on the drop down, go to create, and create a calculated field. This calculated field will calculate the minimum sales. I'm giving it a name, minimum sales, and what it has to do is I'll write a function minimum, and inside minimum I'll write sales. So what it will do is it will find out minimum sales for me. When I do apply and okay, so over here when I'm doing it onto a standard view, so let me remove the sales from here and place the minimum sales over here. So when I place the minimum sale over here, right now it is coming aggregated. I have to remove this aggregated over here. I'll go to the analysis and I'll have to change the properties. I'll remove the minimum sales from here. So over here I've got this category, and now when I want to see the minimum sales, I'll drag this minimum sales and place it over here on the columns. When I convert it to table, this is the minimum sales in each category in the last 4 years. Okay, and if I would like to see the maximum sales, again I'll go over here, drop down, create calculated field, max sales over here, and I would like to do maximum of sales over here, apply and okay. Now when I plate maximum sales over here, what I get across the 4 categories, the maximum sales, like across the 3 categories, if I see in furniture in the last 4 years, the maximum sale in a day has been this, and the minimum sale has been this. The maximum sale has been this, the minimum sale has been this. The maximum sale has been this, the minimum sale has been this. Again, when I remove max from here, I get it for the minimum. Right now, you must be thinking that why is it coming in decimal right now, and previously it was coming in fractions. So basically, I'll go over here and in the properties, okay, just let me go over here on the min sales over here. And in the properties, default properties, in the number format, I'll have to do it as a number without decimals. So when I do so, I get the complete values. In max sales, it was already in the normal integer format. In min sales, it was not. That's why this difference was coming. Now when I'll place over here, now if you check for category furniture, the max sale in a day has been of 4,460 and the min sale has been of 2. In the office supplies, the max sale has been 9,893, the min has been 0. In technology, the max sale has been 22,638 and the min has been 1. So in this way, using the calculated fields min and max sales, we have been able to show the minimum and maximum sales for each category of the product in the last 4 years. So apart from like right now, till now we have seen how to create a new field where we had calculated a cost field which was not there in our data source, and this cost field was created using the difference between the sales and profit fields which were there in the data source. And then we created two functions, the minimum sales and the maximum sales, to find out the maximum sale across the categories and the minimum sale across the categories on a particular time. And now we will be seeing the ceiling and floor function. I'll tell you what they mean. Let me take you over there. So basically, if supposedly across the subcategories over here, the average sales across the 4 years are these respectively, okay, and these average sales have got two places of decimal. Now if I would like to convert them into whole number, which is a number just above it, so for that I can use the ceiling function. If I would like to bring it to a function just below it, then it will be a floor function. So what does this mean? Since over here it's 215.97, If I would like to move it up one value by rounding up the decimal, so for that I'll use a ceiling function which will convert into 216. Had I been wished to bring it one level down the decimal value, then I would have converted into 215, and for that I use a floor function. So right now I'll remove all of this. We'll create it afresh from scratch. So let me place subcategory over here, and let me place my sales over here. This is the table. So over here you can see the for each subcategory you can see the sales, and the sale values are in the form of decimals. Okay, so we can see the sales across 4 years for each category of subcategory of the product. Now let's create a ceiling function, and then let's create a floor function. So what ceiling function will do, it will round up the values and move it one level above, and in ceiling function it will move it, it will round off the value and it will move it one level below. So right now I would not like to see the sales, I would like to see only the average sales. So I'm doing it average. These are the average sales in the last 4 years, whatever sales were made. These are the average sales across the subcategories. Now what I would like to do, I would like to create a ceiling function. So I'll go to any of these measures over here, go to the drop down, create calculated field, and what I want to do is I want to create a ceiling function. So whenever I write CE, automatically this function is populated for me, and I would like to create ceiling for sales over here. Okay, and I'm saying apply. This looks valid, so that's why it's coming as the calculation is valid, and I would like to say as a ceiling function. Okay, ceiling of the average sales I'm doing. Okay, I do it apply, I do it okay. Now this was ceiling. I would also like to create a floor function. I go to drop down, create, I go to calculated field. Now what I want to do, I want to create a floor. Whenever I write the 2-3 words of the function, automatically this list value comes. So I want to create the floor function, which is nothing but the floor of the average sales over here. When I do apply, again the syntax is valid, so that's why it's saying the calculation is valid in the VQL. I'll do apply over here. Now when I place the ceiling average sales over here, then what it will do, for the average sale, the value was 215.97. Okay, now again this ceiling, this is coming as sum. I'll have to convert this into my average value. So for that, what I'll do is I'll go to this pile of ceiling function, drop down over here, from measure sum I'll go to average. So this is the average value. So what it's doing, it's converting my average sales of 215.97 to 216, rounding off the values and placing it one level above. Now if I use floor function, what will happen in floor function, we'll see. Again in floor function, by default it's coming as sum. I'll go to the pile, click on the drop down, from measure sum I'll do it to average. So this is the value. So my ceiling function rounds off the decimal value and places me one level above. My floor function removes the decimal value and places me one level below. Average value was 215.97. So ceiling function brought me one level above by rounding off the decimal value to 216. And the floor function, it removed this decimal value and brought me one level below. This is 215. So in this way, using calculated field, I can also create ceiling and floor functions. So that was pretty much from my side for calculated fields. Next, we'll see how to create parameters. So a parameter is basically a dynamic value which we can change, and using that we can interact with our charts and graphs. So these two fields, calculated field and parameter fields, these are the most essential ones. And parameters can be used in multiple ways in our Tableau workbook. They can be used as filters, they can be used in sets, they can be used to make all the dimensions available as filters, they can be used to make all the measures available in the data source as filters for filtering my visualization. So this parameter is quite powerful. Using parameter, you can the visualizations which you are creating, the graphs which you are creating, you can make them highly interactive. So I think you can understand what's the power of the parameters. You'll understand it in a better way when we'll see it live. So without much ado, let's move to our Tableau workbook to see parameters in action.